Hi, I'm JP.
And I'm Adam.
I've never seen Lost.
I have.
I'm told that it's good.
I liked it.
I'm told that it made sense.
Sort of.
But we're watching it out of order.
So it definitely won't make sense.
But it might still be good. Since we won't expect it to make sense, we'll still be able to appreciate each episode on its own merits as a 1-hour story.
Sometimes 2 or 3.
As opposed to just a fraction of an ongoing, sprawling, and increasingly complex tangle of relationships, personal stories, mysteries, mythologies, experiments, social dynamics, unnatural disasters, unanswered questions, and hot tropical hookups.
Are you okay?
I'm not sure.
Because you lost me a little bit there at the end.
Well, good, because I've been lost since the beginning. We're lost on Lost.
Welcome, everybody, to Lost on Lost. I am JP Russell, joined as always by a man who always brings his own axe, Adam Busher.
That's me, baby. And if you are looking for the best utility axe, all you got to do is just go to any hardware store. They're pretty much all the same.
That's coming from a man who's never owned a DeWalt.
Yeah, all right. No, you're right. I have other DeWalt tools, but I have never owned a DeWalt axe. And now that you've said it, I need to go buy a DeWalt axe.
Enough axe talk. So, Adam, this episode of Lost was really interesting for me because in 2015, I think it was, I might not be remembering that correctly, there was a movie that played in Marcus Theaters in Wisconsin, and it was about a little boy that fell through the ice and was like declared dead, and then was like pulled up from the ice like an hour later and then somehow survived.
Oh, sure.
And
sure.
it was one of those sort of like Christian miracle movies and you know, whatever. And I saw it in theaters. However, I did not mean to see it. I was there to see The Gunman starring Sean Penn, and I had walked into the wrong theater. So there's that. Today we're talking about question mark? Question mark is the 21st episode of season 2 and the 46th episode of Lost overall. Our centric characters, everybody's favorite man of the cloth, Mr. Echo. Question mark takes place on the 64th and 65th days after the crash of Oceanic Flight 815. Adam?
Yes?
Do you have a recap?
I certainly do.
Let's hear it.
I thought there were more people here. On the island, Mr. Echo has a dream, and in order to fulfill his destiny, he's going to need an axe and John Locke. Elsewhere, there's been a jailbreak. Human bruise Benry Gale Linus has escaped the Swan Station, and in the process shot Michael Dawson, Ana Lucia Cortez, and Libby Smith. Or did he? Dr. Jack Shepard, Kate Austin, and James Sawyer Ford find the injured Michael, deceased Ana Lucia, and dying Libby, while arguing about some dumb shit Sawyer did. Mr. Echo shows up to track Benry and hijacks John for a trip to God knows where. And in the before times, Mr. Father Echo prepares to leave Australia, but before he can take his flight, I guess he has to investigate a miracle. JP, the work we're doing on this podcast is important, now more than ever. Our 1-hour shift at the Pearl Station starts now. It's question mark here on Lost on Lost.
Oh. Woo! I mean, we are doing the Lord's work over here, so.
JP, we've got a guest.
What?
You know it.
Is that this person in my house?
I came to your house.
Y'all better protect your neck. Welcome back to the show, Noah Totzke.
This house is clear.
Eagle-eyed listeners of Lost on Lost may recognize the dulcet tones of one Mr. Totzke. He was our first guest. Noah featured on the pilot of not only Lost on Lost, but Lost on Lost. So welcome back to the show. It is so good to have you here.
I am beyond ecstatic that I get to be here today with you two gentlemen. Please know that the most important thing that's going to happen today is that I'm going to be a part of the Lost podcast for the second time, and anything else that's happening in the world is taking a back seat to that end.
Take that, Ukraine.
Some people might call that cold or callous. I call it, well, myopic, but whatever.
God, what have you been doing, Noah, since the last time you were on the show? Like media-wise, have you been catching anything new? Any new TV? Any new movie?
By far the best movie that I've seen in the theater. Again, this has been a year, and there are only 3 real memorable ones that I've seen.
Sure.
Nobody was excellent with Bob Odenkirk, but it's number 3. Number 2 is the Batman, which I just saw,
good.
which I just
Super good.
I there are so many more good things than bad things in it, and I was going into it thinking it was going to be such a trash pile.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic.
And I was so surprised and happy that I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
And then number 1, and again, this just shows that I'm a mass media person.
Sure.
I thought the new Spider-Man was amazing.
It was good.
I got so nostalgic and lost my shit in the right ways for the nostalgia to hit that I cannot denigrate it. And I wanted to, trust me. I was like, there are going to be too many bad guys. I'm not going to care when Tobey Maguire shows up. And then they make fun of him in the right ways, and then they bring him, they make him accessible again in the right ways. I thought Spider-Man was lights out amazing.
You guys want to talk about Lost?
Yes! Oh my god, that is why we are here, right?
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's see here. Question Mark. So Question Mark originally aired on May 10th, 2006. It was written by Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse and was directed by Darren Serafan. Damon Lindelof ate my leftovers. Excuse me, we're at 28 episodes for the leftovers. Carlton Cuse produced the 2001 Nash Bridges, and Darren Serafan directed 3 episodes of the 1997 Nash Bridges.
I want to do something real quick. The Nash Bridges of Madison County, is that anything?
No, it's nothing. This is nothing. No, I'm ending this Zoom call. We're done. We're done.
Things
We're done.
like this together and making them work. Oh my god, it's so good.
We need more Lone Star. We start with Mr. Echo splitting some wood.
Just chop.
And there's so many split me in half daddy jokes. I think I wrote down the sound.
How do you spell that? It's you with 12 H's.
Yeah.
I think we all, so JP did it, you did it, and
So yeah, he's splitting some wood.
Yeah.
And we have a really awkward wide shot of Ana Lucia just kind of being awkward on the beach.
It made me think after the next 30 seconds or whatever of this scene happened, it made me think that they were purposely making her seem otherworldly. Because in a few moments we find out that this is actually the Echo's having a dream.
And this is the kind of device that starts to happen on Lost where I'm like, you need to knock it off.
Stop it.
Yeah, weird Ana Lucia's there, and she asks him about the church.
Yeah, why is he doing this?
Yeah. And then she confirms to him that it's a dream. She's like,
yeah,
this isn't real, whatever.
Well, and the confirmation is that she has a gaping chest wound that has no blood pouring out of it. Sorry, there's a a speckle.
That's what happens when you get shot.
Just a spottle of blood, and then she's got a little coming off of her lip on the left-hand side.
That's ketchup. That's from lunch.
Which is Hollywood for, I'm bleeding internally.
She tells him that he needs to help John.
Yeah.
He sees all these flashes of like weird Dharma stuff. He sees his brother Yemi.
Welcome back, Yemi.
Yeah. Welcome back, Yemi. Exactly.
Listen, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm really upset. We got a lot of Yemi in this episode, and we did not get any fucking Goldie. I was just waiting for Goldie to show up. I want that dump truck. That's right. Backing back up into the scene, baby.
Yemi tells Echo that he needs to take Locke to the question mark and bring the axe. I don't know about you guys, but like if I had an axe and I was Echo, that would just be like that'd be part of my EDC. I wouldn't go anywhere without my axe. Bring the axe.
So,
duh. Like
we're on an island. Things are trying to kill us. I was gonna bring the axe anyway.
I already got a stick.
He wakes up. He's hyperventilating.
Bamboozled.
And I have to be honest here. He wakes up and I'm like, what the hell is he doing sleeping next to Chaz?
Outside, no shelter. Like
Charlie has the heroin farts. There's no way that I'm sleeping next to him.
I was gonna say, what does that scene look like where they're like, okay, good night, Mr. Echo, good night, Charlie, and he just like pats him on the head or something?
No,
like,
Charlie over engages at night and tries to engage Mr. Echo, and Mr. Echo's like, go to bed, Chaz.
Yes. Sleep.
Mr. Echo, are you still awake? Yeah, Charlie. What do you think happens when we die? You're about to find out. Go to sleep.
It's the Antonio Banderas from Four Rooms. Behave.
Oh, that's a great pull, Jape. That's a great pull.
Thank you.
We still don't know why they're building this church. I guess we sort of know. Like Yemi told him to.
Yeah, whatever.
I guess we learned in one. Yeah, we found out in a flashback he owes Yemi a church, so he's building it on the island. And Charlie's we don't know why Charlie's helping, but he is.
Cut to the hatch.
Yeah, Sawyer, Kate, John, Locke, Jack. They're wondering how Sawyer lost his gun.
It's what he does. It's his hobby.
Hey Sawyer, how'd you lose your gun? That's what I do.
I've lost so many guns on this fucking island. But yeah, they're talking. They're having some conversation as they come back to the hatch, and then they find a shot up Michael.
Yep, he just kind of like stumbles out of the door.
At exactly the same time that they arrive.
Coincidence.
I'm now going to start referring to him as Master Plan Michael.
Ooh. That's not a bad name.
Yeah, he's like, I've been shot. What's his face took off. Right at this time, Echo also rolls up because he's looking for John. Could not care less that Michael's been shot.
Yeah.
Like, that was my favorite part about his entrance. He just walks up and he's like, Michael's like laying there, shot.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can just see in his mind, he's like, oh, I found John. Nice.
It's the movie thing where he got shot in like the cool part of the arm, where he's like, oh, it's a through and through, like,
yep.
it's
fleshy.
fine.
Yeah, sort of between the shoulder and the bicep. Like,
That definitely doesn't take like 9 months to recover from.
he'll be fine.
I also would believe that at some point, and again, I have to try to not remember Lost in order to make this work. But like, if you're shot through the arm,
Yeah.
I really don't think he's having that hard of a time standing. He like flounders out of the hatch. Like, oh my God, you guys, I got tagged. Oh my God, I can't believe how bad I got shot. Now, I'm
But
not
like, did you
saying
get
that
shot
I've
in both of your legs also?
or like just in the left ass cheek and we can't see it from this angle? No. Like, I've seen John McClane get shot in the shoulder and it looks way worse.
Yeah.
And he's like, still walking around, Michael.
Yeah.
John McClane's a superhero. He might as well
I
be
know.
bulletproof.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
it's unfair for me to.
We can't compare normal humans to John McClane. It's like comparing Jimmy Olsen to Superman.
Oh, you best believe that Michael is Jimmy Olsen too.
Yes. But yeah, he says it was known bamboozler Henry Gale, my favorite character on this fucking show besides the dog.
So good.
It's not Ben that I love. I love Henry Gale.
Yeah, it's quotes Henry
Oh
Gale.
yeah,
Yes.
dude. There's so layers. I'm with you. Yes.
Yeah.
They've only just chronologically found out that Henry Gale is an alias, and they don't know who they're actually dealing with. They've only just recently found this out, which is part of the tail end of season 2 is that they had Ben in the armory under lock and key for this longest time, and they only just in the last few episodes realize he's not who he says he is. And that's Henry Gale, the best.
That was a very resigned Henry Gale.
Well, he's white Henry Gale. Like they found Henry Gale's ID.
Oh,
Henry Gale's a black dude.
Is that cultural appropriation? Shit, this feels racist now. God damn it!
It just reinforces how nefarious Ben is. He's assumed
right.
the identity of a black man, which is
I don't like
inappropriate.
Henry Gale anymore.
But guys, here's the thing. Here's the bonus, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Michael pours out of the hatch, and then like less than a few minutes later, we get to see Ana Lucia's corpse.
When Michael shot her, I was glad he shot her. Like, I'm still glad she's dead. Whatever. Like, this isn't a real person. It's a TV character. I don't give a fuck. I'm glad she's gone.
But on the flip side of that, then we go over to Libby and we're like, poor sweet Libby. Like, we like Libby. She didn't do anything nefarious. And then she pulls a fucking Mr. Crowley from Downton Abbey and just spits some blood everywhere.
That's the absolute, like, that is one of the positive things that Lost does as far as creating drama.
Yeah.
They're really good at making a moment where it turns into, oh man, Michael's gonna get away with this.
Yeah.
And it's like, cough, and you're like, maybe not for one episode.
That cough of blood scared the piss out of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was sitting here, I was watching the show last night, and I'm just like writing a note, and I'm like, okay, here's a sad scene, and so I'm just kind of absorbing it, and then she's caught. I was like, oh fuck! Like I literally jumped. Like,
No, here's
horrible.
Adam, and here's another fucking problem with the police, like writing about Anna Lucia being dead.
So yeah, I'm on my third page of a rant about and so like here's why the show is trying to make a point about police politics and then oh god, oh man. And such a performance by Cynthia Watros. Cynthia Watros also featured in the Fox television show Titus, which ran for 3 seasons.
Okay, so Libby's alive. So Mr. Echo is saying sort of a prayer. Then we're dealing with sort of the first aid, the care and treatment of Libby, right?
Yeah.
Thank God we have a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Like
Do
a
we?
surgeon.
Do we have a doctor?
That's the question, Noah. Because first of all, he's just got a bandage over her shirt. Like the first thing you learn, expose the wound.
Right.
You have to expose the wound. Otherwise, you're just like
How does he know what he is looking at and dealing with, JP?
Right. Secondly, Jack's like, all right, they haven't been gone that long. We're gonna go. The trail's probably still fresh. We're gonna go. We're gonna find them. And Sawyer, for once, is the fucking voice of reason. Is like, oh yeah, and who's gonna take care of her, Doc? Hey, remember you're a doctor? And Adam, all I could think of was a few episodes ago when you're like, Jack threatens to kill people more than he threatens to save them.
Yep.
And it's just like, oh, yeah,
Oh.
I forgot. Like, we want Libby to live.
I had the same thought. I was like, Sawyer, for once, the voice of reason, has to tell Jack, this man who took an oath to save lives, hey, there's a life to be saved.
Right here. You don't have to go anywhere.
We don't have any other doctors. We have a bunch of people that can go out and get revenge.
Yeah.
P.S. Do I know who I want to go out and get that revenge for us? That guy right there with the axe handle and the stick.
Yeah.
So you stay here.
Yeah. The 9'13" guy, like 300 pounds of
the
muscle.
guy.
Yeah.
I actually think the scene was like secretly built just so they could get Mr. Echo to walk up to the group and be like, "I will go." All right.
Oh, fuck. You just scared the shit out of me. I want you to go. I'm pissing my pants over here.
I need John.
Yeah.
Sure, take whatever you want. I don't.
Fine. Okay, take Libby.
Echo, despite the drama that's happening on the island, never once frowns. Almost every time through the episode, he's smiling. He's not distracted by the drama on the island because his dream has motivated him, and not only motivated him, put him in an incredible mood.
We cut to a flashback.
Yeah. The first one of the of the episode.
I just want to take a second. So I realize that Lost uses the flashback sequences for the B plot at like all times.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's like to either do a juxtaposition or to back up why the character is making a decision that they're running into now. Mm-hmm. And being immediately thrown into a confessional where I know that the priest is not a priest, and then trying to trick me into thinking that this is a useful, like he actually does this. Is it a useful confessional situation?
Yeah.
I did for the 20 seconds that occurred. I got upset. I was like, this is what you're going to flash me back to right now.
Yeah.
I could have spent this 20 seconds smoking cigarettes.
Because what you mentioned, though, is, yeah, the flashback there, the literary technique or the narrative technique that Lost uses the flashback for is, yeah, there's generally, you have your parallel of the current story, or you have a flashback to motivation for the character as to why they're acting the way they are. Then there's this third type of flashback that they started using more in season 2, which is just a story.
It's like filler, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't it feel like filler?
Yeah, it absolutely is. Especially once we get into like the confession, like you can tell the guy's not even really like it's very obvious very quickly that he's just, oh, I slept with someone who's not my wife. I spanked a monkey. I helped a priest get a fake passport. Like, okay. Like,
I don't get anything out of the color of the forger guy. If the forger guy if he opens a confessional and he's like, I'm not Catholic, but I think it's what sins have you committed or whatever, and then the guy's just like, I got your stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's about as much effort and time as that person's going to put into it.
Right.
Right.
It just feels very writery.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the worst description.
And I know,
ever.
like, characters don't have to talk like everyone talks. Like Aaron Sorkin talks about, like, you need to just convince the audience that this is how these people talk. I don't believe that's how these people talk. Not for a second.
Yeah, the two of them leave the confessional after the dude spills that he's got this fake passport. Echo's obviously planning on leaving. We find out this is Australia, and he's heading to the United States. The guy's like, "Oh, hey man, you're a crooked priest. I can hook you up with some folks." And like Echo's like, "What do they do?" And before they can really get into it, Echo's boss shows up and tells him he can't leave.
Well, no, he says, I can hook you up with some people to do what? Stuff.
I'll be honest though, if I was looking for someone that could do stuff. I might go with Mr. Echo.
Yeah.
The Monsignor walks up and tells Echo he's got to delay his trip because there's an potential miracle that needs to be investigated, and so that's apparently falls into Father Tunde's portfolio.
Yeah.
Well, it's explained away with it one line. I don't believe her. That's why you're going.
I'm a flat earther. I don't believe the earth is round. That's why we're sending you to space.
No, actually, the retort to that should be, that's why we're sending you to kill the leader of Amazon.com.
Coming for you, Daddy Bezos.
Because apparently it's the only thing that we could do is shoot you into space to commit murder.
Oh, God. There's a woman, Mrs. Malkin. She says her daughter, Charlotte Malkin, came back to life after drowning. It's a miracle.
Wow.
Let's go check it out.
So she's explaining that, like, this is super important.
Yeah.
And it's, like, my daughter and stuff. And I'm thinking it's, like, a little kid or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I still go check it out, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
But then as soon as she keeps talking, I was like, just shut up.
Quiet.
Shut up. I had a visceral reaction to the actress. I was like, you've got to stop.
Don't talk past the yes. We learned that in the United States of Terra. Don't talk past the yes. Father Tunde's already going. You don't need to sell us anymore.
Listen, you're selling milk to the cow. Knock it off.
Cow don't want that milk.
Oh my god.
Where the fuck are we?
We cut back to the jungle, and honestly, this is the whole crux of the episode, even though it happens about 14 or 15 minutes. Yeah. And it's pretty amazing what happens between these two characters.
Not to like lump too many scenes together here, but back in the day you had to write 20 some odd episodes of television. A lot of different writers are working concurrently. There's a lot of notes getting flown around. You don't have all of this time to commit to like one writer with one idea sort of thing. John and Mr. Echo are walking through the jungle, and John's very quickly like, there's no tracks. What are you going after? Mr. Echo's like, I'm here to help you. All of a sudden, John, who is all about, we need to listen to the island, we need to like believe that we are sent here for a reason, is just like, I don't know. I'm just kind of having an off day. Like, I don't believe in the island anymore. And I'm just like, fuck, that's shitty writing. Like, I don't
because we don't know where the impetus
like
comes from. Like, I don't know where the impetus comes from.
Right.
Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Well, and that's the thing. This might be a symptom of not seen a lot of season 2 stuff. Maybe John's crisis of faith has been explained earlier, but it's completely that part of the journey is not present in the scene at all. We're just at Locke, being a bummer. Like he's not like he's just like.
Well, and he says, "I gotta help you get to the question mark." Like you haven't told anybody about that as far as we've seen.
Yeah, and now
that
Echo
should
knows
be a
about
huge fucking indicator. Like, oh fuck.
Right.
The island. We're back in, baby.
Right.
We're back on that good law spooky shit.
But he's so like unnecessarily stubborn.
Yeah.
Like it just I'm so like I feel like in this episode especially, the way they wrote Locke was like, you know what? When I get into a fight with my 15-year-old daughter,
yeah,
this is what ends up occurring.
Sure.
And it just cheapens him. I love John Locke. I love him as a character.
Baby.
But when he does this, and they do this a bunch of times, and if I was Terry O'Quinn and I was getting those pages, I'd be like, man.
Oh, Locke, you don't believe in the island anymore? Let me remind you, you're walking. Like, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, Mr. Echo headbutts the fuck out of him.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was no build up at all. And JP just snuck that in just like the episode did. And I was like, I actually wrote this down. I was like, John Locke is being a real Noah Totzke. Somebody should. And then he headbutted him.
I gotta say, I love when people get headbutted in TV.
Me too. It's the only universe where it exists, Adam, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. He just, bam, heads up and unfazed. Because the headbutt is always unfazed.
Yes.
They do it in the exact right spot. They don't have a mark. The other person's unconscious for a question mark amount of time.
And he's like lulling him to sleep and like with the line and stuff before it, he's kind of like, it's okay, John. You know?
Yeah.
Good chunk.
And post headbutt, Locke wakes up. Bam.
His grogginess is so fantastic. He just, are you insane?
How long was I out? 6 weeks.
I've been feeding you through a
like a bamboo
leaf
straw.
frond. Yeah.
I mean, at Locke's age, he's probably just eating prunes anyways. So like,
Oh, by the way, whatever's wrong with your leg is completely healed. It's been
all
that
better.
long.
Echo is like, tell me, I don't know what he's like, you know what you're looking for. He's like, yeah, I know. Give me, what do you got? And he's like, check it out.
And I think that's actually the best line in, well, maybe not the entirety of the episode, but when he's like, you don't even know what you're looking for. And again, Echo comes right up next to him and is like, but you do, John.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more that like fate/coincidence shit that Locke used to eat up.
Yes.
right.
And here he's like,
And he's just shutting it down. Like, And let's be honest, like, if Mr. Echo would have been playing backgammon with John in season 1, episode 1.
Fuck yes.
They just didn't have access to one of these fantastic actors that was on Oz. That was the other thing that happened too when the headbutt happened. I immediately went like, oh, Adebisi's back in the yard.
there we go.
Oh man, I can't wait for Oz rewatch podcast though.
The Zoe podcast where we watch it from back to front.
Yeah.
We'll watch it in reverse order.
Prison's closed.
We'll be back. We just got here.
Prison's open. 74 more episodes. Prison's closed.
There's this thing here that also happens, which is some more interesting line delivery that I like. Like, he gives over the map, which is just, it's like a drawing of 6 circles. Echo's deciphering the transcription, and he's like, this is your hatch. And then John has this really sad, like, it's not my hatch. Maybe part of John's crisis of faith or whatever he's dealing with right now is his feeling of a loss of control of the hatch, or finding or realizing that the hatch wasn't what he wanted it to be or whatever. It's like this whole thing that what he spent half of season 1 dealing with, digging it up with the trebuchet and killing Boone and all that shit. Like,
Boone's dead ass. And killing Boone.
And now the hatch isn't living up to his expectations. It's like, okay, well, I get that you're sad, but like, you're the one who created the expectations. This is a sadness of your own making, John. We cut to the back to the flashbacks.
Oh Christ!
Thank God, because you know what? I really needed that A plot to slow down.
When you're doing a slow burn, like the A plot of this episode, what you want to do is turn the burner all the way off. It's what they call a no burn story.
Sorry, is that gas or is that electric? Shut up and listen to what I'm telling you. I want the A plot to just proceed. Keep your B plot, and I don't want to see it again.
Cram it in your cram hole.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Echo's interviewing.
I had forgotten. Sorry. I gotta stop. I'm like ruining this episode. How funny I thought.
No. Damon Lindelof ruined this episode.
Cramming up your crap.
And he's doing his best to ruin our podcast, but we're soldiering forth anyway, because this is important work.
Hey, you know who's gonna save our podcast?
Who?
Mark Calloway.
Who?
The Undertaker.
Oh, God.
That's the name of the wrestler.
Oh,
who
that's
plays
right.
The gentleman.
Mark
Anyways,
Calloway. No, I got
Do you realize how good of a segue that was? That
Not
JP
very.
just pulled us right back to what was. So for those not watching yet, but for those listening at home, the next scene takes place with Dr. Echo. Like he just went to 9 years of school to be
Dr.
as awesome
Mr.
as
Father
he is.
Echo.
And a guy that's an undertaker that was, I don't know, performing some unnecessary surgery on a live patient.
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Yeah. The dude's introduction, like, he's like, what's going on? He's like, I'm an undertaker. I'm a perfectly qualified coroner. Like, I went to medical school. It's like, dude, why are you so defensive? A, and B, like, just the facts, man. Tell me what happened. Don't get all, like, this isn't about you. This is about the miracle.
This character builds a narrative
Yeah.
right away that is misleading.
yes.
And I can't forgive it.
No, he's kind of a piece of shit.
Third line in, when did you realize that she wasn't dead? During the autopsy.
Right.
Does that mean like you had cut into her for 5 hours? Does that mean
Right.
like you brushed your hair back or you identified her? Like
During the autopsy. Other line, I was about to start the autopsy.
and that's I think that was verbatim, Adam.
Right.
When
Exactly.
JP and I
what
were
we said to
watching
each
it.
other.
I was
'Cause,
like,
yeah, I'm picturing the movie The Autopsy of Jane Doe, where like he's wrist
dude.
deep in her chest cavity.
and there's like a rib
right.
cage that's completely open and exposed.
Oh, it's just he's a zombie. That's the miracle. Gotcha. Gotcha. I'm glad that Monsignor, what's his face, sent me here because this is a miracle. She's a zombie.
Yeah, show me the zombie.
Yeah. You had already cut out most of her internal organs. You were stitching her up at the end of the autopsy. She got up and she was like, "Man, I need to. You guys got to get me to the fucking C-store. I need some smokes." Like,
And she's just walking around eating raw fish, in town. I don't see why Echo wouldn't just be like, just show me that.
right.
yeah.
Right.
The guy plays a tape, which is a recording. Oh, and God, okay, speaking of piece of shit, so he's flirting with his assistant during the beginning of the autopsy. Oh, this body's been washed by the lovely so-and-so. And she's like, shut the fuck up. Like, there's a dead girl on the slab in front of us.
I'm here to do a job, Ted.
He cuts on her with the scalpel, and you hear this blood-curdling scream on this tape.
And here's the thing.
That scared the piss out of me, too.
Because that audio is quite well done.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the hors d'oeuvre to the meal of the recording is a little lackluster.
Yeah.
So it didn't hit home the way
Like
it should have.
it's truly a horrific, like blood curdling, like
Yeah, horrible.
a living scream. But it's like, is that payoff worth the setup? No.
No. He doesn't want to listen to the tape anymore. It's like, dude, do you listen to your old autopsy tapes a lot? Fuck. What? Man, I did an autopsy.
Every day,
on
bro.
There was a car accident. I did an autopsy on this one. That was a fucking banger.
It'd be like listening to your own episodes of your own podcast. Anyways,
Echo takes the tape and bails. We cut back to the jungle.
yeah. So they come upon the plane, which we've seen multiple times.
But JP, first,
Yeah.
crunch,
Oh yeah, I forgot about the crunch.
a Virgin Mary statue crushed. Hey guys,
Yeah.
I've only seen episodes 1 and 2. What's up with those Virgin Marys? Can you tell me what those lead to?
Damn, Dave, I didn't know you like to get wet. Yeah, we come across some drugs.
Yeah, Aaron statue.
It's awesome. It's so great.
There's heroin all over this. Heroin and guns.
And
Yep, heroin and guns.
it's Thailand. So like it's but fundamentally when the Virgin Mary is crushed, you don't even need to cut back to anybody. You know exactly where you are if you've seen as many episodes as we have now seen.
Sure.
Yep.
Like it's really a great kind of like, I don't want to call it like a cheap device, but it is the visual device that we needed to be like, oh, this place is going to be important. Thank God.
John talks about how he's seen this plane before. It was up in the tree. Now it's on the ground. And he very casually just is like, Boone made it fall down. He was a sacrifice to the island. I'm like, oh, now we're back on sacrifice to the island now that we don't want to be like negligent in Boone's fucking death.
Right. Well, and it's, the way he says it too is it's like he's saying because he remembers how he justified Boone's death when he happened. And now because he's dealing with this crisis of faith, he's now realizing he killed Boone for no good reason.
Yeah.
We cut to the hatch.
Yeah.
Jack's wondering why John Locke and Echo aren't back yet. Dude, they're trying to track Ben in the dark.
In the
they've been
dark,
gone for
right.
weeks. Fuck off.
He had a half an hour head start and he knows the island. And he got a good night's sleep. He's 3 up on you.
And John's got a broken leg. They're not moving that fast. Jack is like, she's not bleeding anymore, and that's a bad sign. I can't.
You're about a quart low.
I can't do anything for her, and so the only thing I can do for her is to euthanize her. Which is really depressing. He tells Sawyer, "I need the heroin." And so when it dawns on Sawyer and Kate what Jack is planning, this pall is laid over this room, and then Sawyer gets ready to go do it. But then in a moment in which, we're dealing with the sadness and death of another character, he switches from caregiver to playing the game. He's already internally made his peace with the fact that he's got to euthanize a person. And he's like, and in the process, I can still get a peg forward.
Yeah. He's basically like, Sawyer, go get some drugs.
No. Sawyer's put in a position where he has to explain it to everybody else because Jack is so crafty.
Right.
Well, because Sawyer says, I'll go get the heroin. Because Sawyer, and this is a moment of sort of weird season 2 Sawyer humanity compassion stuff that we saw the seeds of in just the last episode. Mm-hmm. When we watched Exodus Part 1, where we're starting to understand that Sawyer might actually, right, he might actually have some humanity. So he's like, he is sad he's not looking forward to doing this, but he does understand that it's better than Libby's suffering. So he volunteers to go get the heroin, and then Jack goes back to his fucking Machiavellian whatever, and he's like, Kate needs to go with you because she's going to find out where you're hiding our weapons.
Kate, not playing Connect 4. Why? Why do I have to go?
I don't want to go.
Well, here's where Sawyer explains it to you now.
Right. This is, again, I can't figure out if Kate is a true criminal mastermind who's lived off the grid and can, dodge the U.S. Marshals, or is just a dipshit in low-rise jeans. I can't figure it out.
Are you good at this, or are you just pretty and lucky? I'm going to go with the second one.
Yeah.
Sometimes better be lucky than good, right?
Yeah.
They get to Sawyer's tent, and he reveals where his stash is.
He is not Master Plan Mike.
It's just under his blanket.
Bag.
The one thing in the tent, it's under his blanket.
Doesn't really qualify as a stash if it's just your house.
I don't even want to exert the energy it takes to dunk on that. It's
just
so
dumb. Yeah.
I could not. I was so pissed.
The only nice thing or the good thing that kind of happens is this is kind of shoe leather. Jack says, go get the heroin. We know that he's going to go get the heroin. So, why are we seeing the go get the heroin part? It's so that they can get to the beach so we can get Hurley.
They can run into Hurley.
That's the thing that needs to happen.
Absolutely.
The getting the heroin and the guns thing doesn't need to happen for the story. We need to get Hurley.
How great would it be if it would have been inside Hurley's tent?
Ooh.
And Hurley just never noticed.
Now, that's something. That's very good. I like that much better.
Yeah, I mean, that's clever. Hide it in somebody else's
stall. Somebody wanted to write Nash Bridges over Madison County or whatever the fuck it's called.
Look, I still think that's a good idea. And
it is an excellent idea. I was trying to pee all over Damon Lindelof and Carl Hughes because I was just not happy with the choice.
Hurley comes up and asks Sawyer and Kate if they've seen Libby. This is another wide where they pull back. We don't see them talk. We just see Kate talk to Hurley.
Yeah.
Better person to tell you that Libby is dying, Kate or Sawyer?
Kate, I think.
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope.
No?
It's the same feeling that you get from the movie Moneyball.
Oh.
Do you want it dragged out over 2 weeks, or do you just want to be shot right in the head and then move along?
Sure.
That's fair. That's fair.
Sawyer be a little bit more blunt. Maybe that'd be better.
Absolutely. But again, they want to torture Hurley for some reason because the show loves it.
We got back to the jungle. Yemi appears.
Yemi.
And Echo, he talks to Echo. He starts climbing up the roots, up to the cliff. Echo follows him. This whole dream happens, or we find out it's a dream. Like, the whole thing happens, and it's a dream. But it wasn't Echo's dream. It was Locke's dream. And Locke was Echo. And if you didn't notice it, because I certainly did it, and I saw it when I was reading the Lostpedia trivia, Echo in the dream walks with a limp because John's leg
I did
is
notice
broken.
that. I was wondering why it was
I didn't notice it at all.
Yeah.
It might have been because I was taking a note. But yeah, Echo walked with a limp because it was John.
I just thought because his hog is so big and it's probably stuck to his leg. Yeah, it's hot in the jungle. You get a little sweaty.
We get it.
Okay, it happens.
Get it. Echo, when John wakes up, Echo knows that he had some sort of dream that he saw. Yeah, he's like, "What did you see? What did my brother tell you?" He's like, and Locke is like, "It didn't make any sense. He climbed up the cliff. That's what happened." And he's all like, "Not again." This is the type of thing that old John would be like, "I had a dream where I was you.
Fucking
and I
love
saw
this
the
shit." Yeah,
right. Yeah, but he's like, "It doesn't make any sense." And I was like, "Of course, your old shit didn't make any sense, but you bought into it anyway. Now you're just not buying in." So John tells him the dream. So Echo recreates the dream. He starts climbing the cliff with the axe. Whatever. Flashback, Echo shows up at the Malkin's house.
This scene is all of 2.5 minutes, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I feel like I could have written a dissertation for 3 hours about how unnecessarily complicated this is.
Richard Malkin comes out, says his wife is a zealot. She's trying to shame him because of his fake career as some sort of psychic shyster.
He's like a John Edwards style, like fake psychic,
cold reading, whatever, scam artist.
Which I don't fucking believe for 1 second that one, he would divulge that, and two, like if that's what he makes a career doing, even if his wife legitimately believes that this is a career, he'd be like, "Oh, I can fucking cash in on this. Great."
This is the thing that I didn't really get is like, dude, Echo's a priest. He's not a cop or a lawyer. It's not like you're in trouble. Like, it's
right.
Who gives a There's a bunch of weird eyeballing between Echo and the daughter when she's on the porch and then through the window.
You mean the 39-year-old daughter?
Yeah,
the daughter who we all assumed was like a 14-year-old girl.
I think she's supposed to be like 16 to 18. She looks like she's late 30s.
Yeah, absolutely, she is.
Yeah,
I was like, if your daughter fell asleep in Mountain Ice River place, that's on her. She's an adult.
But yeah, they definitely like dress her up kind of like a little kid. Like
and no thoracic scar.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Maybe they literally just start just like one.
Dude, she had one of those 90s split thing. There's no way.
Right.
We would have seen it.
Yeah.
It is impossible to get past, especially because I spent so much time thinking about like when she was waking up during the autopsy.
Right.
Like if we assume that it's while he's cutting, there's something there and there's nothing. And it's just
nothing. It's
And then she stares out the window at him.
We cut to from this goofy ass scene at the house to back to the jungle. Echo's climbing the roots with the axe. I feel like the axe isn't helping.
Yeah, it's not helping at all. Just strap it to your back. You know.
Yeah. Get free your hands. Exactly.
There's vines everywhere. Like,
go around. Locke's watching him. Echo gets up to the top, and this is he's like. Looking around and just like, I don't see anything. It's like as the viewer, like I was pretty frustrated at this point, so I was just like, turn around.
Yeah.
Do you think that we came back to the drug plane for no reason?
Right. I did turn to Noah and in my best David S. Pumpkins voice said, "Any questions?" Because there's a big question mark on the ground. The goddamn Riddler was here.
At the dot on the question mark. It's under the plane, so Locke and Echo push the plane out of the way to find the dot on the question mark, and they find another fucking Dharma hatch.
Ah, the hatch!
Ooh.
The hatch! John Locke! Dude, they dominate that fuselage.
Oh yeah.
And apparently this is what they needed the axe for. They needed to pound open the levers on the...
Like a rock wouldn't have worked.
Or the stick he carries all the time. We go back to Hatch 1.0, the Swan. This is
It's not a funny scene, but Noah did say something very funny during this.
well, okay. But before we do that, I remember back when I was watching Lost the first time through, and when they found this second hatch, I remember back then being like, "What the fuck?"
Right. Yeah.
Like, just kind of like we still haven't figured out what to do with the first one. Now there's a second one.
Right.
Okay, fine, whatever.
But you get a hatch, and you get a hatch, and you get a hatch.
Yeah, exactly. So. This is also from the trivia. This is the first time anybody on the island calls the Swan the Swan. Echo calls the Swan, as opposed to everybody just calling it the hatch.
Okay.
From hatch 1 to hatch 2, new hatch to old hatch.
Yeah, there we go.
Jack is preparing the heroin.
He gives Libby the drugs, and Libby's eyes like start kind of doing this crazy, like she's opening them, she's closing them, and Noah said in Libby's voice, "So that's heroin? What's all the fuss about?"
Jesus. That's the one thing I know about heroin is that it makes borderline comatose people wake up.
Yeah. Hurley basically tells Michael, like, "Oh man, we were supposed to have a first date."
Think about how awesome Hurley is as a person to be like, "I'm glad you're okay, Michael."
Yeah.
Dude, right? And like, and I hope so hard that Michael, who I hope already felt like shit, feels 1,000 times worse.
Yeah.
I hope he has that moment where he goes, "Is this worth getting my son back?"
Was it worth it?
Like, but before he's just on the trail, right? And it's the man on a mission. It's Liam Neeson and Taken.
Right.
And I hope that it took Michael a step back to be like...
it's like, yes, I might not get my son back, but he's not necessarily going to die. I have now killed 2 people and ruined other lives. Right. So, cut to Echo and John Locke going down the hatch.
Yep, back to the question mark. With his broken leg, scales that ladder, no problem.
Pretty fucking well.
That's why he gets the special chair.
Yeah.
It almost makes you wonder if he needed the crutches to begin with. His special legs. There's 9 TVs and 2 recliners. And because it's March, I was like, "Oh shit, March Madness."
I got Mr. Echo going all the way.
Like this episode won't air until May, but yeah, it's March now when we're recording this.
May Madness sounds good.
And this is a scene where there's not a lot of dialogue. They just like a lot
and
of
it's
like moving
one of the best scenes.
Yeah, exactly. Locke starts turning on the TVs, and some of them are showing some video. When we realize that these cameras are looking at hatch number 1. The Swan. He sees Jack like walking around in the kitchen. Echo finds the tape. Echo and Locke had watched the orientation film for the Swan in the past, and Locke was really like, I remember dunking on him, but like they watched it, and he was like, "Oh, we gotta watch it again." And Jack was like, "I'm not watching it again, man. I got shit to do." Like,
that's the inverse here.
Right. We had Echo. It was like, "Do you want to watch it again?" And Locke's like, "Nah, no."
I'm still super mad.
The tape tells the viewer. Or the people at the Pearl that the Swan, the button, is a psychological experiment, which is a premise that had been raised by Desmond, that had been raised by Jack in the past, that Locke never subscribed to. And now this tape tells him that he was wrong.
Yeah.
And so, like, a man who's already been miserable the last 40 minutes of this episode.
Yeah.
Like, good night.
Echo's like all into this, and so he's collecting papers and documents. He's like, "Oh man, I can't wait to pour over all this shit." Like when I get my new Hunt a Killer box, and I'm like, "Oh my fucking, this is great."
This episode of Lost in Lost,
Hunt a Killer. And John Locke has a fucking meltdown.
Yeah, he throws a tantrum. Like he might as well have been stamping his feet.
And this is again where I'm talking about them writing him in this way.
Yeah.
And Terry O'Quinn has no choice.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
It's about what he can do with it. Because I started thinking about whether or not I had those lines and I could deliver them in a way that would be as effective to show how agitated I was. And almost everything is like a button point to how upset I am and how the world needs to know it.
Yeah.
You are talking to Mr. Echo. Watch your tone, son.
Yeah. He's like slaps the wall. He's like, "I gotta choose some scenery here. I gotta do something to fucking make this to work.
To make it work.
You know? And, props to Terry O'Quinn for like doing his best.
Well, it was on national television. And again, this is 16 years later, and I'm still telling you that Terry O'Quinn is an amazing actor.
We cut to the final flashback of the episode. Finally, the episode is starting to prepare to come in for a landing. Echo's at the airport. The 39-year-old Charlotte Malkin who finds him at the airport.
This bitch found Echo at the airport.
Yep.
She had she somehow figured out that it was okay to track this dude down.
Her dad's a con artist. She's probably there stealing luggage.
But it would have been better if she was like a pickpocket and she just ran it. I would have liked that way more than I have something to tell you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But instead, she finds him. He's already checked in. All this bitch wants to do is ruin his flight.
Yes.
That's all she wants to do.
Yeah.
She is compelled to be like, when I was between
places.
Yeah. And that line delivery, I was like, nope. Not having that. Not enjoying that at all.
I don't even think you believe that you were between places.
No.
Charlotte Malkin, you.
But you know who needs to believe it? Mr. Echo needs to believe it.
Change the words between places to when I was there.
No. How about this? How about when I was between?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Between what and where, whatever it is, because nobody knows.
That says more. That says the shorter line says more than the longer line.
100%.
Yep.
100%. And just seriously, just the spaghetti that comes out of her about Yemi and all the stuff that Echo's now gonna need to do.
Yeah.
Is just like, this is the infuriating part of the show, especially after them not paying off the orientation tape.
Yeah.
Charlotte says that Yemi says that Echo was a good priest. That pisses him off. He's gonna headbutt her.
That would have been epic.
Well, he's like, hey, I'm a really terrible priest.
I still owe my brother a church, technically.
Or he's just like, he's dead for another autopsy.
Again, not a bad Mr. Echo.
Not bad. Libby comes up.
Oh, Libby's there.
And diffuses the situation.
Thank God that she is.
Yeah.
Hey, are you guys okay? Yeah. Come back to the Pearl.
Oh, God.
Echo tells the story about the Beechcraft, how it left from Nigeria with his brother.
Yeah, he kind of spills the whole thing.
Doesn't explain how the Beechcraft got here, but it explains why it's weird that the Beechcraft is here, because there's no reason that a plane leaving from Nigeria should be in the South Pacific, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, in case on top of everything else, John needs more convincing.
Right.
I'll tell you what. If I'm John Locke and Echo is like, my dead brother that set out from Nigeria.
Yeah.
I crashed on the same island that he did at different times.
Of all the gin joints in all the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Come back to the Swan. Jack administers a heroin, and Hurley sits down to talk to her, just like be with her as she dies. Yeah, fuck, dude, that's so heartbreaking. He says he's sorry for not bringing the blankets, and like,
fuck.
But then this is the part where she snaps up. She says Michael, and then dies.
Yeah.
Hurley cries.
No, Adam. I'm sorry.
What?
You are misremembering, sir.
What?
She says the word Michael, and then Jack does not give her the opportunity to finish any sort of sentence and interrupts her and her dying breath and goes, Michael's okay. It's fine. He's fine. And then she goes off into the nether.
That's right.
Shut up, Jack! Shut up, Jack! Sorry.
You're right.
I'm sorry.
No, you're 100%
I'm sorry.
Right. Had he not butted in, she might have been, Michael
did
it. Yeah.
Anything.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, you're 100% right.
And then there's someone on the planet that's like, this is really good writing, Noah, because you're that pissed off at it. And I'm like, you know what?
No.
It is. I am so mad at Jack. So mad at
We're
Jack.
not supposed to be mad at Jack. We on the podcast are. I don't know if we're supposed to be on the show.
I don't know either. It's hard to know how we're supposed to feel during most of season 2.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said to me that season 2 was their favorite season, and I don't know if it's a symptom of going and watching it out of order or not, but like, dude, what?
Yeah.
She dies. Hurley breaks down. Kate breaks down. Sawyer consoles Kate. John, Locke, and Echo make their way back to the hatch, to the Swan from the Pearl.
Michael's standing there.
Oh yeah.
creepily in
The episode ends with a creepy shot of Michael in the armory where Ben used to be stashed.
Yeah.
You mean the Master Plan Michael album cover?
Yep, that's the one.
right.
All right, just checking.
Masta.
Parental advisory.
Masta. Master Plan Michael. Written in that sweet gold and diamond font.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That's the end of a question mark, man. What the fuck?
So let's just get right into the end of the episode segments. Let's ask the question, did we like it? Was it good? Noah, why don't you kick it off?
Nope.
To both questions?
I did not like this episode, ultimately. On its face value, it is tantalizing. It is trying to get me to, again, double down and be a part of the show. Unfortunately, they went as far as they could to try and ruin John Locke in this episode for me as a viewer. And that's the thing I hold against the episode.
JP?
Yeah, no, I did not care for this on top of the reasoning that Noah has, which, you know, is very valid. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, the only good spooky lost shit with, like, a new hatch. We've seen a hatch before, dude. It felt like, oh, here's this interlude to other stuff that we may pay off, we may not. I didn't really care for it. Adam?
No, I didn't. I did not care for it. Didn't necessarily like it. I didn't think it was necessarily well constructed. The flashback on the whole was really just kind of dumb and wasted my time. And here's the thing. There's one thing that happened in the flashback that we are missing because we're watching it out of order.
Oh, really?
But it's still not that cool.
Yeah.
Like when we get to the thing, like when we get to the reverse payoff, it's still not, you're not even going to remember, JP, that this part exists because this flashback is lame. This episode was the 6th extended episode of Lost. It actually ran 5 minutes longer.
I was going to say, it felt actually longer.
Episodes.
Yeah.
And for no good reason. I say this a lot of times, especially about movies, is that if a thing's going to be longer than normal, it's got to justify its runtime. This episode did not do that. It's another reason why I disliked it. And it's 3 episodes from the end of the series. Like, following this episode is 3 minutes, which we already watched, which we also said didn't really ramp up the tension leading into the finale. This one did even less. This is the beginning of a very downward slope into no tension for the finale. There was one other thing that was interesting from the Lostpedia trivia. It was that in the run up to this season 2 or whatever, there was talk that Darren Aronofsky was going to direct an episode.
Really?
And this was going to be the episode that he directed. And so they wrote this episode thinking that Aronofsky was going to direct it.
What the fuck?
And then Aronofsky had to drop out because I think he had a baby. Like he had
sure.
Like his child had just been born, so he pulled out, and then that's when they got Darren Sarafian. So the guy who directed Pi, imagine this episode directed by him, and maybe it's better, but I don't know.
But he can't visually play with Lost.
No, I don't think so
mean?
either. So yeah, I don't even think that having somebody who's known for like their hypnotic or surreal visuals is gonna be effective on broadcast TV.
Lost MVPs. Who's your favorite person from this episode, even if we sort of unanimously didn't like it? Noah, who is your MVP?
I think it's impossible to not give it to Hurley.
Yeah.
So much is accomplished by Hurley and by Jorge Garcia in
he's always great.
Maybe 3 or 4 minutes of screen time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And again, it just proves how awesome he is. I mean, I think the obvious answer is Echo because of the fact that he pulls John back from being off the rails. Yeah. But there's just something so good and pure about Jorge Garcia's portrayal of Hurley and what Hurley represents to me on the show.
Sure.
That I give it to him, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. JP, what about you?
Karen DeGroot. Listen, there's not a lot of representation of women in the sciences.
In 1980.
So she's just out
women
here.
In STEM.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if y'all have a couple extra bucks, AWIS.org is the Association for Women in Science. Give them a couple of bucks. Anyways, Adam.
Yeah, like in absence of anything really, really great, Hurley. The stuff that he did had the most heart. It made me remember to care about the people that are on the island, like Libby Dye and Hurley. Like it's a bit fridging because it's Hurley's emotional arc attached to the death of a female character. But this is also before people necessarily cared about that stuff.
Yeah.
And Libby's departure from the show wasn't necessarily a narrative choice.
Yeah.
So
there's that too.
maybe, you know, because
was Ana Lucia's also a narrative choice, or even Mr. Echoes was a narrative? No. But we'll get into that at a different time.
Bunch of balloons being deflated around here.
So yeah, no, Hurley, because I still care. I still care about him, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then the flip side of this is Lost Forever. Who do you hate? Who is not the MVP? Who sucks shit?
How much time do you got?
Yeah. Noah,
the mom that's supposed to
Mrs. Malkin.
Malkin thing. I had a visceral I just get her to be quiet. I want her off. I was like, no.
Yeah.
I could not handle her.
Yeah.
There are other characters that accomplish way more that I like even less, but I just can't handle that lady.
Sure.
So I'm going to put her down.
JP, Lost Forever.
The Roman Catholic Church. Listen. We need to devote energy and assets to investigating miracles. Hey. How about we fucking investigate who's been molesting all these kids?
I feel like miracle research could be one of these things that you outsource. I mean, Richard Malkin's right there.
Right.
Thank you.
But I guess conflict of interest because it was his own daughter that came back from the dead. I've seen 100 times people put a mirror under somebody's nose and be like, oh, she's still alive. They didn't have that in the autopsy room before he started stabbing into there. Doctor giggles.
He didn't have a choice. He had too big of an erection from his assistant.
His mirror is mounted to the ceiling.
Just in case you didn't know that the coroner undertaker was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But he did go to medical school.
Yeah. Adam?
I had Michael down, but now I think I might change to the Undertaker.
Yeah, dude. That's how that's the thing. Michael kills 2 people on the fucking island and turns into a double agent, and we're like,
specifically because he shot Libby, because maybe we saw this in Two for the Road or whatever. Maybe shooting Ana Lucia was part of the plan or whatever, but that's bad enough. But then Libby was always a bystander.
Yeah.
Libby always got shot by Michael by accident.
Yeah. She walked in, she's like, where's the Dharma Ranch? And then blam, got fucking blasted.
Next to the peanut butter.
Yeah.
Despite
the fact that the shot of Michael brooding in the armory is kind of cool in album recovery, he's still a piece of shit. Yeah. But he'd still take second, I think, to the Undertaker. That guy sucked.
We also have to quickly discuss.
Oh fuck, that's right.
The Lost Missing Pieces.
That's right.
Was this shot on a Motorola phone?
I think so. a Motorola Razr.
Shot on and intended to watch on mobile phones.
Yeah.
The 2 minutes I spent watching this missing piece, I think, was actually more fun than watching ?
Yeah.
But that's because of the unintentional hilarity.
Yeah. Really quick, we watched a mobisode called The Watch, which is the very first Lost Missing Pieces mobisode. It aired on November 6, 2007 on Verizon and November 12th, 2007 for ABC.com. Its centric characters are Matthew Fox, Jack, and fucking Christian Shepherd. It takes place in 2003, the year that Jack got married. It was written by Carlton Cuse and directed by Jack Bender.
It's a beach. Did Jack get married in Hawaii?
I don't care.
Because it's a beach. It's a beach on Hawaii. I was watching it and I was like, I think that might actually be the hotel I stayed at when I worked on the movie that shot in Hawaii. Part of me, I was like, I think I know that hotel.
This was shot on a day when Matthew Fox and the actor who plays Christian weren't needed on set, and it was outside the hotel they were already staying at.
And it was on Jack Bender's Razr phone.
100%.
And the 2 actors had obviously just had a gigantic lunch.
Yeah. And the script was written on a cocktail napkin.
They were so logy.
Yeah.
What you doing? Throwing rocks? Why? Why not?
Yeah. Oh, good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's write this.
Hey, before you get married, I got a present for you. Before it gets crazy, check out my watch. My dad was a piece of shit, and he gave this to me on my wedding day because he hates your mom.
My dad was a real gem to me, so now you.
Why are you giving me this watch? This is a horrible story connected to a horrible gift.
Didn't at least somebody hide this watch up their ass for like 3 years? That's at least better.
Also, thank you for bringing that up. Different item.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, not a watch, something else. Whatever. Like just a big medallion, like a big Bee Gees medallion.
Yeah.
Like he pulls it out of his pocket. It's like on a 20-inch chain. And just like, my dad gave this to me when I got married to your mom in 1972. He hates your mom, and I love the Bee Gees. Happy wedding, Jack.
I just want when Jack's like, oh, I never saw you wear it, Christian, to say something real doctory. Be like, yeah, it's rose gold. I'm not an accountant.
Oh, God, yes. It's beneath me. I'm the head of surgery.
Right.
Oh my God.
So we're watching the thing, and I'm like, if this doesn't end with Christian turning around to go back to the hotel and Jack just taking the watch off and hucking it into this ocean,
yeah,
I'm gonna be
that
upset.
That would have been awesome, actually. Like,
it would have been so good.
Yeah, we followed John. A long tracking shot of John Terry walking back to the hotel, and then just, like Jack just like, pew!
And it hits a jet skier like in the head. And then he's like, I'm not gonna save that person.
See you in hell, Brussels sprout.
Like most of these missing pieces, this one at the end of the day, it seemed pretty meaningless. I don't know if it will end at the end once we've watched the finale have added any value or meaning to the larger arc of the story.
Well, no, because he's like, oh, make sure you're better to your son than I was to you, and it's like, oh, this is a really tender moment that informs none of anything moving forward because their entire relationship still implodes and they need to mend it again.
You know, Christian, talent skips a generation, so. Unreal how much I was like, this is 2.5 minutes long. I shouldn't have to read this much into it.
Yeah.
Seriously, come on.
Yeah.
What is this that we're infinite possibilities, nothing to show for it.
Yeah, it's
The watch, missing piece part.
yeah,
one.
that was it.
Noah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Man, I have such a good time when I come on, and I always extend your episodes by like 40 extra minutes than they have to be because I won't shut up. You guys are the nicest. You put up with my crap. I'm an old man. I enjoy every moment of it, and you guys can have me whenever you need me. Love you both, god damn it.
Well, we have some pretty big plans involving you, Mr. Totzke, for the remainder of this podcast revolving around the sort of halfway point in the finale. So, listeners, Noah will be back.
Yeah.
Much like James Bond.
JP, what are we doing next time?
Oh, man, I am fucking so excited for this one. Next time we're watching Season 1, Episode 7, The Moth. We're going to make so many fucking moth jokes. Adam and I regularly send moth memes to one another. I have no idea. It's a Charlie episode, so I'm pretty bummed about that. But moth. Lamp, moth, I love
Lamp,
moth, Mothman.
Moth, brother,
yes.
Brother Lamp,
Yes.
Brother Moth.
All of it. Oh, man.
We should go outside more often, JP.
Yeah, no. We're good.
What's that thing? Touch grass?
The sun?
Oh, man.
Is that a big lamp in the sky? Anyways.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, for listening to this episode of Lost on Lost.
Oh, my God. I'm Adam.
I'm JP.
Have you any idea what's going on the show?
No.
Me neither. Lost on Lost is produced and edited by me and JP.
We wish to acknowledge that we live, work, and produce our show on occupied land.
Burbank, California is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Tongva, Chumash, Kizh, and Fernandino Tataviam peoples.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Peoria, Potawatomi, Miama, and Ho-Chunk peoples.
And Lost was produced in Hawaii on the lands of the Kanaka Maoli.
Visit native-land.ca to learn more about the land you live and work on.
You can engage with us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Lost on Lost 1.
You can also email us at wearelostonlost@gmail.com or support us with dollar monies at coffee.com/wearelostonlost.
Thanks to Lostpedia and its community of contributors, Danny Schmitz, random.org, and as always, you the listeners for tuning in.
We're hosted at Podbean. You can hear us there or wherever you get your podcasts, except MySpace. We're not on MySpace.
Yet.